During my viewing experience of watching the three videos on the historic events of women's suffrage, the three historical women I chose to inform myself about were Margaret Chung, the first Chinese American born female doctor, Susan LaFleche, who was the first female American Indian doctor in the USA, and Gertrude Ederle, the first woman to swim along the English Channel. Out of all of these historical figures, I think that Gertrude Ederle stood out to me the most with her accomplishments. Seeing that her age was 19 years old, I first noticed that she is close in age range with myself. She was prominent in her swimming career at the age of 19 and retired swimming at 22. I am 22, so I found it very relatable. I was intrigued with Gertrude's story as it is about sports, Olympics, and physical activity. I admire that although although the odds were stacked against her, she fought for her right to swim and break barriers that men, stereotypes, and disadvantages brought her. Gertrude was born in New York City and was taught to swim by her father. She was very passionate about it, so passionate that she dropped out of school to pursue swimming full time in a competitive sense. Though in doing so, she faced many hurdles. Being born in 1905, these times were very difficult for women. Men thought of women as the weaker sex and gave women unfair treatment for everyday things. Most notably, in Gertrude's case, being forced to swim with long clothes on, unlike men, this would cause a major disadvantage for female swimmers and hinder their progress. I admire her drive to training and working hard to be just as skilled as any man, and how she fought to break the barriers holding her back from doing what she wanted to do, that being her swimming. With her perseverance and guts, she had a physical endurance of 21-mile swim, and even designed her own goggles. She was truly a determined person, as she opened the door for female swimmers to follow. 60,000 women earned swimming certificates after that, and I relate to her in terms of her perseverance and never giving up despite her odds. The next important female figure in women's suffrage I found interesting was Dr. Margaret Chung. As I said before, she was the first American born Chinese female doctor. Each of these three women I chose to inform myself on were focused on breaking barriers and standing up for what they believed in, despite the world telling them they can't. Dr. Chung was 29 years old when she started doing surgery on patients. She worked in a male environment and was often under pressure due to being a woman in the workplace. She would feel shunned and unwanted due to race and gender, often being referred to as the yellow peril. This topic, on the topic of this being unwanted, on the topic of being unwanted due to race, that unfortunately felt relatable to me, as black people, as well as any other person of color, could relate to the feeling of being unwanted by society. Dr. Chung also mentioned that she herself often pictured a doctor to be a white man, so it was especially hard to fit in due to that. Due to the generalization and stereotype, she often felt unwanted. She felt like an outsider. So she dressed up as a man in order to work as a doctor undercover. In 1911, she got a scholarship at her medical school and worked as a plastic surgeon. What surprised me was that she worked on big named people like actor John Wayne and President Ronald Reagan for plastic surgery. Dr. Chung broke Dr. Chung broke barriers by sticking to what she believed in without letting disadvantages stop her, and I applaud anyone who does that. The third historical woman who I found to be inspiring was Dr. Susan LaFleche, the first female American Indian doctor in the USA. She has a similar struggle to Dr. Chung with the demeaning approach and status for being a woman in the workplace. She was age 24 when she really got started with her medical work, which once again I find relatable as I am 22. We were not that far apart in age. She wanted to be a physician and went to a college for African Americans and Indians. No white people were there, however. At her medical school, she treated many patients. She went to an all women's school and worked day and night without a break. I really admire her work ethic, and just how long she worked for the achievements she strove for. Unfortunately, her husband died of tuberculosis, but that only made her work harder to save other people. All of these women worked hard for what they believed in and what they dreamed of, and for their dreams to become a reality. Even when society said that they couldn't do things, I think that is always something to be proud of.